Yeah, subhanAllah, I just wanted to put a quick message out there to anybody who's going through a bad day or a difficult time, who's going through a calamity in whatever way you can measure that calamity, whether it's the loss of a loved one, whether it's the loss of belongings and things in this dunya, whether it's not having things pan out the way you had hoped it would. SubhanAllah, these difficulties, they too take a toll on us, and we are allowed to be affected by them. The issue is to what extent, right? So we have these emotions built within us: sadness, anger, happiness, and so forth. These emotions we are allowed to express, but we don't allow them to take control over us. But it's easier said than done, isn't it though? I mean, when you're going through a state of quote-unquote depression, where you feel that the world has caved in on you, and that there's no hope, and everything's over, and why are you still around? Why are you still here? I mean, there is no good after the difficulty that you've just gone through. SubhanAllah. You see, there's a few things to kind of unpack when somebody's going through that kind of state of mind. First of all, we know that this comes from the shaitan. His name is Iblis, and that comes from the root word ablasa, to lose hope in the mercy of who? To lose hope in the mercy of Allah. You see, this is the second part. So first, we know the shaitan's attacking us, and he takes advantage of this because of the saying that says, never let a good calamity go to waste. SubhanAllah. He applies that mentality. He says, oh, you're struggling? It's a bad time? Well, let's rub it in, and let's make it even worse. And while we're doing that, because you are experiencing that feeling of awfulness and depression, it's very difficult to find anything to be grateful for. So then you start to forget to give alhamd and shukr to Allah, the one who has put you in this situation, and he's the one who can take you out. So the shaitan takes advantage of that. You got to know who you're up against. And that second point that I was referencing is that you lose hope in the mercy of Allah. So let's understand some of the attributes and names of Allah, because he's the one who put you in this situation, right? And the shaitan's trying to make you forget him, right? Or perhaps even, ma'adallah, blame him, right? So let's understand who is Allah. He introduces himself in the Quran. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم. And gratitude be to Allah. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, the most merciful. This is his first introduction. You see, we have a hadith that says that Allah has divided mercy into 100 parts. One part has been given to humanity, given to this dunya. The animals that you see, when a mother cat is taking care of her little baby kitten, when you see a dog taking care of the puppies, when you see a lion taking care of the cubs, all those different animals that take care of the weak, that take care of their offspring, the parents who take care of their children, the brothers who look out for their siblings, the uncles who look out for their nephews and nieces, subhanAllah, the grandparents who care dearly for their grandchildren, friends who love one another, subhanAllah, all that love and all that mercy in whatever way you want to measure it, all of that from the beginning of time until the end of time, between the animal kingdom and the human kingdom, all add up to one part of Allah's mercy. So he has 99 parts reserved for himself. Subhanallah. That Allah, who is that merciful, has put you in this situation. So then we say, well, why? And that's an incorrect question, but it's a question that comes to the mind from the shaitan. Why am I in this situation? So now we say, what else do we know about Allah? We also know that He is Al-Hakim, He is Al-Alim, He is Al-Sami', He is Al-Basir. See, this kind of thought process comes from a lack of understanding of who our Creator is. The more we get to know Him, the more this cannot affect us, and the shaitan fails. So let's take a look at another one of His attributes, Al-Alim, the all-knowing. Now, Ibn Taymiyyah said something along the lines of, Allahu ya'lamu ma kan, wa ma yakun, wa ma sayakun, wa ma in lam yakun, kayfa yakun. Subhanallah. Allah knows what has happened, and what is happening, and what will happen, and what would have happened, and had it happened, how it would have happened. So let me unpack that sentence. Subhanallah. Everything in the past, Allah already knows. Everything that's currently going on, Allah is aware of and knows, because He sees everything, He hears everything, He knows everything. Everything that is to come, He knows, because this is ilm al-ghayb, this is the future, and He knows ilm al-ghayb, right? But there's a little extra element there, because He knows the different possibilities that could have unfolded in the future. So we only think in a certain way, and what I mean by this is we plan something today, and we expect a certain outcome in the future. But there are so many variables in the present that can affect the future, creating so many different outcomes, right? But we can only live through one of those outcomes. I'm not trying to get all physics on you, but just bear with me. We can only live through one reality, right? The reality that we are in now, and the future that will come as a result of the reality we are in now, right? There are many different variations that could come into existence, but only one you will go through. But those different variations, Allah knows what would have happened had any of the other variations come into reality. This is impossible for anyone to ever compute. It's not possible. But Allah knows that. And so when we hope for something and we think that we want a specific outcome, and the reason we are depressed today and sad today and angry today is because that outcome hasn't come to fruition, we're expecting that a different outcome would have played out better for us. Allah's telling us that He knows all the other outcomes that could have happened. And He is the most merciful. And He sees all things. And He hears all things. And He's telling you, trust me, I'm watching out for you. Because you're a believer. He takes care of the believers. He takes care of those who strive, who try, who do their best to make sure that they please Allah. Who have their iman built in and work on that faith to make sure that they please Allah. To reach a level where they have Allah as a wali, as a friend, as a protector. Subhanallah. So when you are going through that difficulty, and I know it's easier said than done, focus on who your master is. Understand who He is. Understand His attributes. Understand His names. And know that He put you in the situation that you are in. And because He's all-wise, He knows why. There is a reason. And because He's all-knowing, He knows every possible scenario and situation, and He chose for you to go through this specific experience. Subhanallah. And because He is the most merciful, He's watching out for you. He's taking care of you. Subhanallah. The more you get to know His names, the more you fall in love with Allah. Subhanallah. May Allah grant us an understanding. And may Allah make your day easy for you. And the experience you're going through, may He alleviate you from your pain, or your struggle, or your difficulty, and reward you for your patience, and grant you something far better than you could have ever imagined at any of those possible realities that could have existed had anything changed along the way. Subhanallah. Barakallah feekum. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.